Heyo, so welcome back to finally a new art video, and technically the start of Inktober, I guess you would call it. I'm not sticking traditional, I'm doing a cringe-tober quote-unquote over on Instagram. It's basically just an excuse for me to draw whatever the fuck I want and live cringe-free as a full-grown adult of 26 years old. Because I have a life and I'm allowed to live it, okay? But anyway, every October I try to do some stuff with ink for not necessarily an Inktober thing, because the guy who made Inktober is problematic or some shit. I say some shit as if I don't know. He stole the artwork of another artist and I don't know any of their names. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I don't even know the guy who made Inktober. So I just like to do things in ink just because it's fun though. I always like the idea of being able to do something for a full month. I think I've only ever done the Inktober challenge once and technically twice. Once was an everyday event, and then the second one was me combining weeks into a prompt or something like that. I don't exactly remember off the top of my head, I'm gonna be honest. This year's no different. I'm not doing anything special other than I busted out the India ink for this one, because let me tell you, I got this idea, I want to say in I think it was either the middle of the night or the middle of my work shift. I kind of blur out during my shifts at work, I'm gonna be honest, because I just remember remembering the idea at work, and I can't remember if I came up with it there or remembered it from the night before. But either way, I ended up sketching a concept of this on a paper at work, and I probably looked like a lunatic to my coworker who was doing the bread, and I'm sitting in the corner with the order notepad with the page flipped over, aggressively sketching. But hey, it worked out, because the only idea that was coming to my head recently was, what if the Halloween version of Hatsune Miku had a Pokemon team? And I say my Halloween version of Hatsune Miku. And it was just nice to draw something relaxing and something that I would like to do, especially after the hoedown with my old boss showing up. Yikes, I was so fucking on edge. I'm I just want to do something for me, and I don't care. So I started sketching Miku, and I had 3 different thumbnails I had at work, and none of them worked out. But I just know I wanted Miku to have this Halloween design, and by Halloween I mean take any of the blue parts on her and turn them orange, and then have her hair dip dyed from purple to blue. And it seems to me that there's only one pose I could draw Hatsune Miku in, and it's this one. I don't know why I can't do any other pose of Hatsune Miku. This one just feels like it's Miku, if that makes sense. Because I think I've done this pose for her one other time, and I think I've only drawn her twice. So that's fine, I guess. But I decided to come up with her Pokemon team based on a Halloween idea I had for a different thing that kind of got scrapped, so gave it to Miku. But I wanted to give her definitely an Umbreon because it matches with the Halloween theme, and then I made it a shiny Umbreon because, blue, Miku, blue. Then, of course, Halloween, you need a Pumpkaboo, and it's iconic. I gave Lucifer a Pikachu. I gave her a Pikachu, too. But this Pikachu is scared of Halloween, so he's hiding behind the Pumpkaboo. I thought that was a cute little thing. Well, Pumpkaboo's just having a crisis. And then I also added a Phantump that has mimicked her pigtails. So freaking cute. And then I wanted an owl and a bat. So I went with Hoot Hoot because I think Hoot Hoot is a very underrated Pokemon. And then Crobat because, come on, he's purple. So I sketched out where all the Pokemon wanted to be, and the Phantump is definitely her partner Pokemon. Sketched everything out, loved the way it came out, and then I had an idea for how I wanted this to look. There's an artist by the name of, I have this pulled up in front of me. God forbid I know how to pronounce it. Heikala? Heikala. They do absolute beautiful ink and watercolor illustrations. I've been following this person for years and years, and I've been so freaking inspired to do multiple pieces like that, but I can't do the thin lines. I have a very hard time, first of all, even just drawing thin lines. I have such a heavy hand, and then on top of that, I'm just so shaky in the hand, it just wouldn't work. So I just watch from a distance. But they recently posted this artwork called Autumn Ghost. It's very, very muted. It's a very muted palette. There's sunflowers. It's all gray and brown and olive. And I'm that is beautiful. I love that. So I definitely took that as my biggest piece of inspiration, especially just for the color scheme and everything. But also, it's Hatsune Miku. She has bright blue hair, and I wanted that dull color. And I'm gonna tell you 100% right off the bat, I am not talented enough to mix my own colors like that. I probably could by accident, but I'm not skilled enough with watercolor to mute my colors like that. Heikala used sumi paints, which is a semi-moist kind of paint. I don't have those. I might somewhere. Actually, no, I don't have those at all. But even if I did, I can guarantee you I could not mix those colors to save my life. So what I intended to do was use my trusty old Daler-Rowney Black India ink. And I went over the entire thing in grayscale to start. And even just looking at the grayscale, I took a picture of it because I'm gonna be honest, I was terrified that I was gonna mess this up somehow. So I scanned it into my computer through my phone as grayscale, just in case I screwed it up. And I'm actually looking at the two of them now, comparing them back and forth. And I'm glad I colored it. But I did go over with the ink, and I'm not very good with monotone. I say as I'm definitely going to be doing Huevember next year or next month, but I liked all the values. Like, I struggle with monotone values. I should, like, if you handed me a graphite pencil, it said color this, like color this person with this graphite pencil, I would not be able to get the hue tone shift with that pencil to save my life. So I was just very happy with the way the grayscale looked at first overall. Like, I was like, wow, that is beautiful. And the entire time I'm looking at it, I'm like, that looks so good. And now I'm looking back at it like, oh, that kind of doesn't look good now that it's all colored in. But I got it all grayscaled, like I said. Beautiful, beautiful. I waited a day because I was thinking about it. Took a deep breath and said, let's do it. I pulled out my watercolor palette, and not just any watercolor palette. I have the Stuart Semple World's Coloriest watercolor palette. I have watercolor palettes made from eyeshadow. I have a Daler-Rowney, Winsor & Newton Cotman watercolor kit. No. I'm gonna pull out my at least 7-year-old watercolor palette. No, it's almost 8 years old. My 8-year-old watercolor palette that I made in my senior year of high school. I pulled it out while looking for something else, opened it, and I just smelled the watercolor. Because it's old, it's probably expired. The pigment is not 100%, and I'm like, perfect. Because even if it's muted, because I had this palette so dirty, it will fit in absolutely perfect with everything else. So I went with it. And I figured I'd start off with watercolor, because if I didn't like it, because I was just going to do the skin first, I could always dab it off with a paper towel and then just keep the grayscale. But I started with the skin, and I'm like, that's really gray, but that's also what I want. So I just kept trucking along with it. And once I got the skin done, okay, I moved on to the blue of the eyes and the hair, and I thought, perfect, this is exactly where I'm going. So yes, I cheated, not only the fact that it's not mixed, neutral, dull tones, but I also used watercolor on an ink painting. But hey, there's no rules with these challenges anymore. It's literally just do whatever you want because it's fun. I'm also just noticing now that little flower palette that I use for my inks, well, used for the black ink, that is my go-to palette for my acrylic inks, which I also don't use as much, but I suck at them, I really do. I have pearlescent acrylic inks, and that pearlescent sparkle has gotten onto the painting. So in real life, this has a teeny tiny bit of like a mica glitter on it. Super subtle, but it looks really cute. Like, it's everywhere. Also, I think the ink added a very nice texture, and also the chalky old as fuck watercolors. But I finished it up, and then I just kind of sat there and looked at it and thought, there's no way I just did this. Like, I'm looking at it now, and I'm in love with it. This looks so freaking good. This is exactly how I wanted it to look. And I'm looking back at the grayscale where I thought, okay, this grayscale looks good, and I'm looking at it colored like, no, this is so much better. I'm so proud. Like, there's no way I did this, right? Like, someone tell me that I didn't actually do this, because I do not believe that this came from my hands. And I've been doing that a lot recently with my artwork, and I think I finally hit the point where I'm like, this is it. This is my style. This is what I'm happy with. So very happy about that. The tape did rip a teeny tiny bit when I was taking it off. Ripped a little bit of the border. And then I do this thing with my watercolor paintings is that I forget that they're watercolor paintings because I always tape them down. And I have some of the outlines. Like, I have like parts of the Pokemon and the clouds and the moon sticking out over the border. I like that effect on my paintings, but I also have like the actual line art. So I went over it with a white gel pen just to, like, I guess, gray it out. And then I just went back over that real quick with a Gumbracher titanium white heavy body acrylic paint. Just something quick and easy just to cover up those lines. You could totally tell though, like, the color of the paper is a completely different shade to the bright white, but when you edit everything down, you're not gonna be able to tell. But I'm super freaking happy. feel like I'm just gonna keep saying that because I'm like, holy shit, I made this. And I'm gonna hold myself to this standard now, and I'm gonna get pissed off when nothing else looks that way. But hey, it's fine. I'm just looking at it like, I did that, I did this. I kind of want it to be a print. Yeah, I'm that happy with it. I think I want it to be a print. I do. I really like it. So that's gonna be a print soon on my Etsy. Probably not until October or November, just so I have time to get the file ready and everything, because I have another painting idea for next week that I also want. I already know I want it to be a print, so I think I'm just gonna print them all at once. I get my prints done at Walmart now because they're just so much cheaper than my old printing company. Plus I get 10% off. Like, a win is a win because I work there, you know? So I'm gonna save this for November, and I know it's not gonna be included in the Halloween sale with that, but I do have a huge Black Friday sale coming up. And oh my god, this voiceover got really long because I don't know how to shut the fuck up. But yeah, anyway, I did this. I'm super proud of it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Link to my Etsy to get your hands on some Halloween stuff for the Halloween sale is down below, and then also my Instagram to see when that Black Friday sale is going to be dropping, also down below. And let me know if you actually want this as a print. Like, gorgeous chef's kiss. Mwah, mwah. Love it. Okay, I will see you guys next week with another print worthy illustration, hopefully. Maybe, we'll see.